Hey YouTube. So I am actually in my apartment. You can see there's like kind of boxes, but it's like dead empty because we're moving, and I have to be here though because this is where the Wi-Fi is. But now that the Wi-Fi, like now that I'm done working, there's nothing to do. So I'm like, let me get on here and give you guys some free astrology and astrocartography readings. This is also like Q&A. If you want to get in my business, this is the time to do so. If you want some advice, this is the time to ask for it. But yeah, I want to share something that I've been really getting into like over the past 2-3 years, which is astrology with you guys. Yeah, really since the pandemic. I remember in 2019, like learning about some some of the aspects of 2020 astrologically and what could happen. And let's just say that by the time the pandemic happened, like it was all making sense to me. I was like, oh, this makes sense. As above, so below. This is what they meant. And yeah, astrology, like birth chart readings, are just really cool. Like, I think that as somebody with a background in psychology, I think that everything is a tool for like reflection and self-actualization, but I love astrology, lately at least, as one of those tools because it's just like it stands the test of time. The stars have been here as long as we have, if not longer. Um, and astrocartography is just this gorgeous, like this crazy, beautiful blend of location and astrology, right? So, kind of infusing your birth chart over the world map and seeing how location um, influences certain planetary energies to come up. So, yes, if you know your date, time, and city of birth, throw it in the chat and I will give you a free reading because I ain't doing nothing else, y'all. I'm gonna put that in the chat. Okay, Miss Infinite, do you want your location, your astrocartography, or your birth chart? Also, how familiar are you with astrology? Like Wilmington, Delaware. Okay, now we getting busy. That's what I'm talking about. Hold on, let me pull up my thing. Do you want your regular birth chart or astrocartography? Okay, like the location. Are you in Delaware? Are you in Wilmington, Delaware right now? Okay, nice. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is pull up your birth chart. So you are an Aries. Thank you for all the work that you do and bringing the energy and the life to the party. Cancer rising. Wow, what a balance. Moon in Virgo. Mercury, Taurus. Your Venus is in Aries too. Life of the party, baby. Aries. One thing about Aries is they're gonna bring the energy, and you being a Venus Aries too. I can imagine what your dating life is like. I imagine. I imagine it's lots of fun, but also lots of getting bored quickly. If I had to guess. So you're in Houston now, and I'm actually gonna do this kind of like I do my astrocartography readings. So first, kind of understanding like how are you feeling about where you're located now, and then do you have any travel plans, any interests, or like even bucket list locations? Sometimes we really feel called to a certain place, even if we've never been there. Like for me, that's Bali. Never been, but have always, always wanted to go. It's okay. I love me a villain. I love a villain. Dominican Republic. Okay, yeah, we'll see where what that's crossing down. Isis, do you have to do this right now? Do you have to be on me right now? Y'all, my cat is so she don't give a fuck. She don't give a fuck. You have to get off of me, mama. I'm working right now. I love you. I love you. You can't be on me. You can't be on me. Sorry. Okay, so you were interested in the Dominican Republic once upon a time. I'm opening up your chart and I'm gonna start with your birthplace. So hold on, I'll show you. It's not all gonna be on the screen, but I'll show you a clip of what it looks like for now, right? So this is your astrocartography map. Okay, you're looking to relocate. Perfect. So this is what an astrocartography map looks like. It takes your birth chart and it places the lines of certain planets across different cardinal points over the Earth. Now this is basic astrocartography. It's just the longitudinal lines. You can also have like Paran lines that run horizontally. We're not getting into all that though. I'm gonna look at the major lines going straight. So coming into your hometown, which is Delaware, you're actually right between your Venus and your Sun on the midheaven. And that actually carries a lot of energy of being like front and center, that girl, like widely known. It also says a lot about career. Tell me, how long were you in Delaware before you moved to Houston? Yeah, it looks like that this was a pretty lucky area, or at least affluent, like an easygoing area when it came to finding opportunities, like making a name for yourself, probably being very popular, especially in your dating life, because that Venus MC is over there. And again, I know your Venus is in Aries, so that's even more fire under it. You never lived there. Interesting. Well, look, there's some auspicious energy there if you ever were to go back. It looks like it can be beneficial for your career and your reputation and potentially even your dating life. You were raised in Maryland. Ah. Okay, it still applies, baby. It still applies because actually the way that your lines work, and I'll show you since I'm zoomed in, right? So you can see this orange line here. Ooh, hold on, let me turn this song off before they shut me out. So yeah, so as you can see, this orange line over here, that is your sun line, right? And this green line over here is your Venus line, and that's both on the midheaven. The midheaven is associated with your career, status, and reputation. Venus is associated with love, beauty, and receptivity. And the sun is all about, you know, your expression, where you shine, right? And also your appearance. So when we're looking at this sandwich, there one line, yes, and on directly on top of the line is where you have the most energy, but the energy radiates about 300 miles. You feel most of the energy within about 300 miles in either direction. So you have this sandwich actually around each line that affects this entire, again, longitude. So this can probably go down into the Bahamas or whatever if you were to zoom out. But this whole East Coast essentially is sandwiched between that energy. So I'm just scooting on down to DR since you mentioned that you're interested. The DR also has this sandwiched energy too, right? Between your Venus and your sun, which is honestly, a really auspicious energy. Like it's really beneficial. And again, with your sun being ruled by like, with your sun in Aries, your Venus in Aries, like it's giving high energy, high vibes. And I'm laughing now because, girl, the sheer luck of it all. You have a Jupiter as you go further south, right into the Dominican, which is maybe why you've been interested in it. As you get further south, your Jupiter line starts to cross over with your Venus on the midheaven. So your Jupiter is all about like your sense of faith and expansiveness, right? It's about growth, abundance, hope, prosperity. So that is a really generally lucky line to be on. And that Jupiter on the descendant is reflecting that in your relationships, right? So your home life, your family, low key, potentially even coworkers, neighbors. You have a lot more luck when it comes to how you relate to people and your relationships in general down there. And obviously, that crossing with your Venus line, which is all about love, beauty, and receptivity. I mean, I don't know if you're looking for love, baby, but it's there for you. It is down there for you. Let me see what your Jupiter is in. Your Jupiter is in Capricorn. Interesting. So, that obviously perhaps brings a little bit more of a serious vibe to it. Or at least that patience, right? Like the patience to ground and actually keep your eye on the prize while you're down there. Hi, Mimi. Hello, darling. I'm doing free birth chart and astrology, astrocartography reading. So if you want one, drop your time, date, and birth. What? Time, date, and city of birth in the chat. But right now, I'm looking at Miss Infinite. And she has really good energy on the East Coast of the Western Hemisphere. Were there any other locations that you're interested in, or in general, like any goals that you're looking for? You said you're thinking about relocating when your mom, girl, what? Sorry, it's Friday Ray. When your daughter leaves, what do you want to see for your life? Like, what are you looking for in your own life once you are potentially an empty nester? You want love and to be thriving in your business. What is your business in? Um, business, your midheaven lines in general are gonna be hold on. We're gonna be looking at your midheaven. Do you mind sharing what your business is? Oh, you're a life coach. Awesome. Your moon is in the second house and your moon is in Virgo, which tells me that you're probably pretty organized when it comes to your life coaching. Like, probably very strategic too. You like to do your research before doing things like making a move. Oh, you have a channel. Girl, drop the link. Drop the link. I'll subscribe to you. I don't know if you can. Here, I'll just open it up in a second tab to look for you. But with your moon being in Virgo, I'm seeing a lot of organization, and it might be useful, to look at your Mercury lines, because Mercury is the ruler of Virgo. So hold on, let me go back to your map. I might look at your Mercury MC. Let me see. So that is actually, I don't know if you've ever, you said DR. I don't know if you've ever been interested in like South America, but you have a Mercury midheaven running straight through like the middle to mid east of South America, right through Brazil. Your Mercury midheaven is this line here. So, and it's also right next to your Pluto on the lower midheaven. That might be a little bit messy. I can't lie to you. I should take that back. Right now, it's looking like the East Coast is still your best bet. Your Mercury midheaven, the Mercury midheaven is pretty good because it gives you opportunities to really express, like to communicate, probably have a lot of insights, like clear insights. and lots of opportunities to be able to like spread your message. So whatever it is that you know, reflect on in life coaching, or whatever your niche or expertise is in life coaching, advertising could be really easy here. Reaching the masses could be really easy here. And in general, like learning and studying for yourself could be really easy in this area. But with the closeness to the Pluto on the lower midheaven, I would give a little bit of warning. You also have a Saturn on the lower midheaven, not too far off from there, which can be difficult. It's a lot of mental, like psychological challenges when it comes to how you're actually processing things internally, right? The things that you recognize you need to heal from and learn from, lessons that you need to learn in order to grow. Saturn deals a lot with challenges, restriction, like low key, maybe even boredom, in the sense of it's very slow and steady. And Pluto is all about like the chaos of transformation, rebirth, and death. So yeah, that's a lot going on right next to it. Yes, this is South America. This is South America. Sorry, the shadow from the tripod is like super bright, but there we go. And then, but over here you can see your sun, your Venus, and your Jupiter, those lucky lines still coming through the, what hemisphere is this? The western part of South America. So the hot spot for you, baby, is the eastern hemisphere, like the eastern side of America, going all the way down until it becomes the western side of South America. That whole line is really auspicious for you. And, oh, sorry, I had low battery. That whole line is really pretty lucky for you. There's not a whole lot of interaction with, not a whole lot of crossings of other lines that can make it more difficult. And the beautiful thing about astrocartography, y'all, is that sure, right? The lines activate. Hi, Shar. The lines activate right on top of, or the energy activates right on top of the line. It's strongest felt on the line, but again, it radiates about 300 miles in either direction most strongly. But you don't even have to travel to feel that energy. You can activate that energy by, for example, eating some Dominican food, like going to a Dominican restaurant. Of course, it's not the same, you know, frequency and the same strength, but it's the same idea, the same way that you felt called to it, you know? What does Texas look like for you? Okay, let me go see. So Texas is sandwiched between, so Texas is closest to and probably most ignited by your, sorry, give me 1 second. It looks like it's most strongly lit up by your Neptune on the descendant. So Neptune is a tricky planet, baby. Neptune's a tricky planet to work with. Obviously, like, it has its benefits, like all planets do. All planets have their like challenges and strengths. So Neptune is very dreamy, right? Like, it's all about possibilities and fantasies and like creating things with your imagination. Now, to that extent, though, because it is so imaginative and like can be idealistic, it is so prone to delusion. So it's giving Delulu era of your life. You might be a little Delulu here. Particularly, it's your Neptune on the descendant. So again, that's related to how you relate to others in general, relationships. Maybe you find that you're not really sure who your friends are, or who, you know, what people are really in your circle. Maybe you have high expectations and they keep getting, you know, let down. But this is the area where it seems like that is the utmost energy. Now, hold on, let me go look at what your Neptune on your actual birth chart is in. Your Neptune's in Capricorn, with that, you know, with that in mind. Neptune is one of the generational planets, right? So a lot of people in your generation have Neptune in Capricorn and move slowly through the chart. Sorry, I was reading your chat. But yeah, Neptune moves slowly in orbit. So your Neptune being in Capricorn, it might also create some difficulty with work and career, or how you're in general feeling like you're setting goals and achieving them. Stop it, babies. Stop it. My cats think that this place is a damn jungle gym. Yeah. So relationships and potentially career, or just the idea of like what you are, how you are achieving success, can feel a little bit unclear here. Now you do have here, this is Texas for you. This is that Neptune. And I'll get on what this moon line is. You hear them? They acting a whole fool, Shar. Don't encourage them. Now you have your Jupiter on the descendant over here too, though. Your Jupiter on the descendant again is that same line that gives you luck in relationships. So maybe it's neutralized, but it might be hard to feel like you're fitting in or finding your community. So I think that as long as you're staying grounded and like mindful of the decisions that you're making, the people that you're around, especially because there's a lot of descendants over here, then you won't get too lost in the sauce of delusion. Yes, ma'am. So I hope that was helpful, Infinite. Greg Abbott is the worst. Greg Abbott's the worst. Is that politics? I can't lie to y'all. Ever since I moved to Mexico, honestly, before I moved to Mexico, I removed myself from the matrix. Yeah, he's a governor. Ah, okay. Yeah, I don't like to play politics, boy. I did that whole like, hi Erica Hayes. I did that whole politics activism thing for like a good 5 years of my life, and I was tired and pissed and grieving and just ugh. This is my escape. I came actually, y'all, I moved to Mexico based on my Pluto. I follow my Pluto line, which can be tricky because again, Pluto is all about like transformation and releasing control, like the ebb and flow of surrender and control. But I wanted that. I intentionally wanted that in my life. So I'm really happy with, the psychological changes that I've made down here. Shar asks, what has life been like as a therapist in Mexico? Life has been good, right? But at the risk of making this my own therapy, I'll say that like it took a while for me to get used to how just like slow and straightforward things are out here. In the States, I had a lot more resources, like a car, right? Where if I was bored for a half a second, I could just go anywhere and do anything. I had a lot more to do in general. I had a bunch of businesses, but that's what I wanted to stop. I wanted to stop running for the sake of running. So I come here and like everything is clear. Like I've cleared the slate, which is cool because I feel like that's let me be a better therapist. Because I'm not as exhausted and burned out with everything else in my own life. And yeah, it's nice being remote, but it's also kind of lonely. I can't lie. I get a little lonely sometimes because I don't have like coworkers. Like I don't run into people in the office space. I don't see people in real life. So it does feel isolating in the sense that like, I'm a relatively, don't scratch up the couch. Sorry. Luna, stop it. Well, it's been a year since I graduated now, but like, I just don't have a sense of community and belonging as much because I'm 100% virtual. So, you know, it's a give and take, it's a sacrifice, but like I live in paradise and I get twice the quality of life for half the price. So it's a fair adjustment. It is a fair adjustment. Does anybody else in here want a birth chart or astrocartography reading? I'm giving some free readings out. I'm gonna do this more often too because I don't think that I do a good job sharing like who I am, what I offer. But guys, if you go to my website, I do astrocartography readings. I do tarot readings also, but more so tarot psychology. I don't personally believe in tarot as a means of telling the future. I believe in it as a means of self-reflection, right? Kind of allowing your subconscious to just be opened up and think about things. Think about things that perhaps your ego hadn't been considering. Mimi, I got your information. I'm about to plug it in. Infinite, how do I begin to go about moving to Mexico? Oh no. Mimi, did you change your did you delete your birth chart information? I'm gonna do Erica since it's here, but I need you to send it to me one more time. I'm sorry, I didn't copy and paste it before the cat started stressing me out. Erica, I'm gonna work on yours now. But Infinite, if you're interested, you can call me, girl. You can go to my website. I do free consultations for all of my services, but I've also thought about like offering consultations for moving or like living abroad, because I think a lot of people can use the support and like, step-by-step guidance. But otherwise, there's a YouTube video on my channel where I did like my, the questions about moving to Mazatlan. Erica, are you still in New Orleans or have you relocated? Let me know, because that does matter. Bria, I'm gonna do yours after I finish Erica's. Oh, actually, Erica, I'm sorry. Did you want your astrocartography? Actually, I'm gonna just go ahead and do both, because that's saving time. Okay. So Erica, do me a favor and tell me, how are you feeling about like your current, location? Are you happy where you are? Have you thought about, taking any trips or relocating? Let's see. You are a Virgo. Damn, double Virgo. Sun and moon. There you have a lot of placements in Virgo. Your Mercury's in Virgo. I already know you're a great communicator. Your Venus is in Virgo. Yeah. You want to take a trip. So, to New York. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll check out New York for you, just because of the number of people. I'll check out New York for you. And then tell me one desire or one main priority that you're looking at right now in your life. Maybe you're trying to start a business, or maybe you want, a healthier relationship, whatever that is. Tell me one thing, and then I'll try to find the best line for that for you. But in the meantime, I'm gonna zoom on over to New York. Ooh, hold on, let me get it close enough. So this purple line with like the hook or pitchfork, that's your Neptune on the ascendant. And then maybe a little bit of the energy you might feel, like the residual energy coming from this Jupiter on the ascendant, which is pretty lucky, with a little bit of Pluto energy. But I don't think that's as relevant. Again, the lines have the most impact about 300 miles away. So the Neptune is the most prominent. And I was just telling I believe Infinite, she had her Neptune line over there in Texas where she's living. And the thing with Neptune is that it's really dreamy, right? So like it's super imaginative and can be really like inspiring. Thinking about like an artist finding their muse. It's really up to you to create your reality over here, but at the same time, because it's so imaginative, it can be really idealistic and really delusional. Illusional, actually. Um, so I think that when you're looking at that on your ascendant, um, it might come across as like you perhaps not necessarily being able, as able to understand reality. So maybe this area is great for, you know, getting some inspiration, but also making sure you're doing some grounding, because that Neptune is prone to kind of convoluting things. And I think that being really intentional about like being really intentional about questioning yourself and being open to other versions of reality outside of your own narrative is really important. But otherwise, a little bit on the further east, you have your Jupiter on the ascendant, which is associated with luck and abundance. So this is also a pretty interesting mix, right? Because the delusions might be there, but sometimes you delude yourself into some pretty some pretty lucky opportunities, right? It's like I have a friend. This is the perfect explanation of her. She is the type of person who like won't buy tickets to a concert, but will just show up to see if she can get in. It's giving that energy, right? But just lucky enough to actually get in. That's New York. It's giving eat, pray, love. It's giving eat, pray, love, but like your bills are still past due. And granted, I'm not encouraging that, but that's just what the energy is giving, baby. Hold on, let me go look at your Neptune actually. Your Neptune is in Sagittarius. In the first house too. Yeah, so I imagine maybe you're already a bit creative, right? Or imaginative in general. So it might be important also to keep in mind, um, you know, not jumping too far in the future with things, right? Not thinking too far ahead. That Sagittarius, the archer, it likes to um, plan and it likes to philosophize and all of those things. So not getting too deep into your head or the reality that you want to make to the point that it disillusions you from where you actually are. And let me see what your Jupiter is on. Your Jupiter is in Capricorn, which is, you know, largely related to like work, um, progress. You know, Capricorn is really all about slow and steady. So you might have a juxtaposition with that Jupiter in the slow and steady Capricorn, right? Or the desire for luck and faith and abundance being slow and steady versus perhaps that Neptune in Sagittarius that says, I want it now. I can imagine it, so I want it and I need to be there. It's looking like a need for balance in between. And then Erica, you said you do want to find somebody. You've been single for a while, so let me check out that area. I'm gonna look at your Venus on the descendant. Your Venus is in Virgo, so potentially you might have some luck with a Mercury line too. Let me see what your 7th house is. Your 7th house has nothing. So yeah, we're gonna look at yeah, we're gonna look at your Venus line. Venus on ascendant, and sometimes this happens, baby. I'm sorry, but it's basically the middle of the ocean. So Maybe you find love on a cruise. Yeah, but it's basically giving offshore love. Oh wait a minute. This is, hold on, let me zoom in. Girl, what country is this? Sorry, I know my astrocartography. I don't know my geography, so I literally don't even know. I don't even know where this is. So you know how we have Alaska and then it goes into, girl, hold on, let me pull up a map. Right, here, this is the line I'm looking at, by the way. Hold on, I'm trying to zoom in. I'm looking at, it's a lot of them over here, but your Venus on the ascendant, which is sandwiched right over here, honestly, in the midst of a lot of other things, so I wouldn't even recommend it. But it goes right through like this Russia, Eastern European area. And then if we were gonna look at your Mercury though, you have some luck in the western side of America. It's giving Boise, Idaho. It's giving Seattle, Montana. It does start to come to spill into California around like the lower tip. So Los Angeles, even some of Nevada, Phoenix. Again, we're thinking 300 miles in either direction of this here on either side. Now, this is a midheaven line. It's not descendant. But again, your Venus is in Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So there's a little bit of spillage. I believe your Venus is also in Mercury. I'm sorry, your Venus is also in Virgo too. Yeah. So you might have some luck over there. And this is more so, your midheaven is more so though about your career and reputation and status. So who knows, right? With your sun and your Mercury being out right there, it may be a matter of you being actually able to be seen by the person who, you know what I mean, who will wife you or partner you or whatever. It's like those jokes, those memes. It's like, how you gonna find your man if you stand in the house? You want him to break in? No. But if you go to an area that ignites more energy of you actually being outward, right? Like showing your energy outward and being seen, perhaps being more communicative, maybe your numbers on social media, if you have a platform, go up or whatever, then you have a higher likelihood of running into somebody who you might be interested in dating. And like I said, I'll keep saying this every time, y'all, you don't have to travel directly to a line to feel its energy. So you might like meet somebody from Los Angeles and notice that this energy is sparked. You might, go to a Vegas themed restaurant and feel like that energy has been sparked. You can think about it in a myriad of ways. Obviously, the most intense energy is right on the line, but you can find ways to get derivatives of it as well. Yeah. You can't, it's very comfortable. I think the pandemic did a lot to us all as a collective, and like, sheltering in and learning to enjoy or at least tolerate our own peace and our own space. But I found that it's been hard for a lot of people, and it was hard for me, still is sometimes, to like get back out there, especially because we have the social media, like we have the internet that really doesn't make us feel alone. But I'm telling you, there is something so powerful about actually, physically taking up space in this world through travel, which I'm very passionate about, whether it's across the globe or like to your fucking grocery store. So yeah, take them up on that offer. Maybe plan a trip. Maybe go to LA with your friends or something. I don't know. Mian, I'm gonna do yours. No, Bria. Bria's next, and then Mian, and then I'm done, y'all, because I'm getting hungry. Bria, we got a 90s baby. Oof. Okay. Let me change the date of birth and whatnot in here. We got what I imagine is a Scorpio. Hold on, 1995, 4:20 p.m. in Raleigh. Bria, if you're in here, are you still living in Raleigh, North Carolina, or have you relocated? Going once, going twice. Also, Bria, if you're still in here, let me know if you have any travel plans or if you're thinking about relocating to a specific area. One location, you're in Greenville now, perfect. Pick one location you want me to check out and perhaps one intention or desire that you have that I can look on your chart for. Greenville, North Carolina. I'm very interested in relocating to North Carolina myself, actually. Greenville, North Carolina or Greenville, South Carolina? Because, oh no, North. I see one. Never mind. You know what you're talking about. You're thinking about Charlotte. Okay, you'll probably have the same energy within North Carolina. So I'll just look at, what home in general, what home base looks like for you. $19.95 for 20.